KREM 2 News begins now.
Thank you for joining us on KREM 2 Plus. I'm Tim Pham. This is your KREM 2 News Week in Review. Join us as we take a closer look at some of the biggest stories in the Inland Northwest this past week.
Carol Strait was found dead in a field along East Buckeye. And for more than a week now, there have been several unanswered questions as to what happened to her. Now, the Spokane County Medical Examiner reports Strait's death was natural due to heart disease. The medical examiner reports Strait's cause of death as arrhythmogenic right ventricular cardiomyopathy. According to Johns Hopkins, ARVC is a rare disorder that can cause sudden cardiac death, even in young, otherwise healthy people. The medical examiner confirms to KREM 2 News that's what happened in this case. We also now know Strait's death was not caused by a dog attack. After she was found in a field near East Buckeye and Custer December 13th, the Spokane County Sheriff's Office said Strait's only obvious injuries appeared to be from her dog found with her. A search warrant later clarified Strait had serious injuries on both arms, but it was unknown if these injuries were caused by the dog or other means. The medical examiner said after careful examination, those injuries were determined to have come from the dog after Strait died. The sheriff does tell me investigators are still waiting on the ME's written report. Until then, this investigation is ongoing. Shannon Mowdy, KREM 2 News.
Major John Kaylor was in court for only 20 minutes this afternoon. His wife sat right behind him, crying as he pleaded guilty to all 4 counts of second-degree murder. Walking into a Shoshone County courtroom, 32-year-old Major John Kaylor didn't look at his wife and family seated behind him. He listened to the judge, who confirmed his decision to plead guilty.
Murder in the second degree carries 10 years to life, a $50,000 fine, and a $5,000 civil penalty for each victim. Do you understand those 4 charges and the maximum potential penalty?
Yes, I do.
State prosecutors, Kaylor's defense, and the victim's family reached an agreement last week. By pleading guilty, prosecutors agreed to reduce charges to second-degree murder and throw out a burglary charge. The 32-year-old was arrested on Father's Day. Police say he admitted to killing his 4 neighbors, 65-year-old Kenneth Gardepee, 41-year-old Kenna Gardepee, 18-year-old Devin Smith, and 16-year-old Aiken Smith. All were shot to death. Police say Kaylor's wife posted on Facebook accusing 18-year-old Devin Smith of engaging in inappropriate behavior in front of her and their children.
Did you, Major John Kaylor, on or about the 18th day of June, 2023, in the county of Shoshone, state of Idaho, did you willfully, deliberately, and with malice aforethought, unlawfully kill the person of Kenna L. Gardepee, a human being, to wit by shooting her, which resulted in her death?
Yes.
What is your plea to count 1, murder in the second degree?
Guilty.
It's a word Kaylor would say 3 more times as the judge read off the other 3 counts and the names of the other 3 victims.
Guilty. Guilty. Guilty.
Court documents show Kaylor told police he snapped that day and was protecting his family. That decision is now keeping him locked up and away from his wife and children. The Kaylor will be sentenced on March 25th. The family of the 4 victims, they were also in court this afternoon, but declined to comment as they were leaving the courthouse. Reporting in Wallace, Kyle Simchuk, KREM 2 News. More than 20 schools across Spokane are identified in the district's 2023-2024 Capital Improvement Plan. The list you're seeing here will cost approximately $6.1 million. HVAC system improvements at Rogers High School, playground improvements, and upgrades for Wilson, Grant, Bryant, and Abaddon schools. The district will also make sidewalk improvements at Garfield, Indian Trail, Jefferson, and Westview. Ferris High School will see upgrades to theater rigging and lighting and the school's intercom system. Lewis and Clark High School will receive upgrades to theater audio-visual systems as well as a new reader board. Roof repairs are listed for Chase Middle School. The district's administration building will also be remodeled in selected areas. Bond proceeds will be used to carry out the improvements over the next year. SPS says the capital plan is in the best interest of its students, taxpayers, and the district. For a full list of schools and projects, look for this story on our website. In Spokane, Kyle Simcha, KREM 2 News.
25-year-old Brandon Kenny was arrested Saturday, and now a 14-page affidavit lays out why he says he killed two people December 8th. Since December 8th, there have been few answers as to what led up to the killings of Kiara Morgan Wieland and Colton Russell. Now, a new court document is shedding some light. In the affidavit, investigators say surveillance video near Cleveland and Cuba and the suspect himself piece the case together. Surveillance video from homes in the area showed the two victims, Brandon Kenny and an unknown male suspect, arriving together in a van. Kenny later told police they went to a home on nearby Fairview Avenue so he could pick up drugs. Video also showed what investigators believe was the moment Kenny shot Russell 6 times inside the van. The video shows glass falling from the driver's side into the road. 7 9mm bullet casings were later found on the passenger side. The affidavit says video also captured Kenny killing Morgan Wieland. An investigator with the medical examiner's office found she was stabbed more than 50 times. December 14th, police raided the house on Fairview, detaining several people. One of those people, a friend of Kenny's, was able to identify him in the surveillance video. Kenny was arrested Saturday. Investigators say he admitted to both killings because he was afraid of Russell. The affidavit claims Morgan Wieland and Russell were suspects in the case of a missing woman, and Kenny told investigators Russell killed her, then made him help move her body. Kenny reportedly told investigators Russell was worried he'd go to the police, so he killed him. The document says Kenny reportedly said he stabbed Morgan Wieland because she also knew about the situation. Kenny is being held on $1 million bail. He's expected to make his first court appearance tomorrow afternoon. Shannon Mowdy, KREM 2 News.
Mr. Kenny, did you understand the rights that I just read to you?
Yes, I did.
This is 25-year-old Brandon Kenny, the main suspect in the murder of 2 people December 8th near Minnehaha Park. 37-year-old Colton Russell shot 6 times. His passenger, 23-year-old Kiara Morgan Wieland, stabbed 51 times. Her father speaking with KREM 2 earlier this week.
For a whole week, we were afraid that nobody would come to justice.
Police arrested Kenny on Saturday, 2 days after serving a high-risk search warrant at this home near the double murder scene. According to court documents, Kenny admitted to the murders and something else. Detectives say the 2 victims, Wieland and Russell, were also suspects in the disappearance of 49-year-old Janelle Martinson. She was reported missing earlier this month, and police found her body last Thursday along South Madison Road in Valley Ford. Police say they found blood on the carpet and walls of Russell's Spokane Valley home. According to court documents, Kenny said he helped Russell dump the body and told investigators he decided to kill Russell days later when Russell expressed fear that Kenny would talk to police about the missing woman. Kenny said he threw the pistol and the pocket knife he used into the Spokane River, according to court documents. The 25-year-old is charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. Today, District Court Judge Jennifer Fossbender kept bond at $1 million. In Spokane, Kyle Simcha, KREM 2 News.
This is the Janelle Martinson the 49-year-old's family remembers fondly. A mother and grandmother.
Loving, caring, smart person that wore her heart on her sleeve.
Her own mother, Jackie, took time to share those memories, time away from planning her daughter's funeral.
She didn't deserve to die like she did, a violent, ugly death alone somewhere. That eats at us.
Martinson's body was found December 14th along this block of South Madison, a 45-mile-an-hour stretch of road near Valleyford. The reported confessions of Brandon Kenny, the suspect in a separate double homicide, may hold more answers on Martinson's case. Kenny's accused of murdering Colton Russell and Kiara Morgan Wieland, who court records show were suspects in what was at the time Martinson's disappearance. The affidavit in Kenny's murder case says he told investigators he went to Russell's home in November, where Russell told him he accidentally killed Martinson. In his reported confession, Kenny said Russell put a gun in his mouth and told him he had to help move Martinson's body or he'd be killed too. Kenny said he helped put Martinson in the back of Russell's pickup, then left. Martinson's body was found a couple days before Kenny's arrest and reported admissions. Jackie says her daughter was in an abusive, sometimes physically violent relationship with Russell.
And I encouraged Janella at the time, turn him into the police, for goodness sakes, this is so wrong. But she wouldn't do it. They had this bond that was we couldn't imagine why.
Martinson's daughter, Shelby, wrote to KREM 2 News Wednesday, saying she's beyond heartbroken, angry, hurt, sad, and that it all could have been prevented if it weren't for drugs. The family now hopes Martinson's story can convince others to find a way out of domestic violence or addiction.
I don't have a magic answer to how to make that happen because I couldn't make it happen for her. But we tried, and she tried on occasion. She did 7 rehabs, but she could not kick that.
No one won here, Shelby writes. Everyone lost, and it's tragic for every single person involved. Shannon Mowdy, KREM 2 News. Well, the argument for much of today and throughout this entire trial has centered around DNA evidence. Prosecutors say Aguirre's DNA was found on a condom decades after Doss's death, linking him to the crime. But Aguirre's defense team, including with their only witness, argue that DNA is unreliable. Defense attorney Karen Lindholt argues investigators contaminated the evidence like a condom by handling items without gloves. But prosecutors say there's no testimony to support evidence was touched with bare hands. And the state says DNA wasn't the only thing pointing to Aguirre as Doss's killer.
That he had hit a woman, that he had choked a woman, but she was alive when I left. Your Honor, the very same injuries that Mr. Aguirre described to Lawrence Cole are consistent with the exact injuries, or primarily consistent with the injuries that Dr. Veena Singh said led to Miss Doss's death.
Anna Wilson testified that she found unknown individuals' partial profiles on Ms. Doss's clothes. They didn't put the partial profiles into CODIS. Had they done that, maybe we wouldn't be sitting here with Mr. Aguirre on trial for murder that he didn't commit.
Now, this is a bench trial, meaning a judge will make the final ruling on Aguirre's guilt or his innocence, and we are expecting the judge to issue that ruling very soon, December 26th. Shannon Mowdy, KREM 2 News.
Well, it doesn't take a meteorologist to tell you we're off to a slow start this winter. By this time last winter, every run on the mountain was fair game, and even our yards in town had an abundance of snow. Believe it or not, most of the region is ahead of normal in terms of precipitation this season. Parts of the Cascades are even looking at an almost dead-on average snowfall season to date. It was a round of heavy rain in the mountains in early December that melted most of that snowpack away. Even then, most of the region still sits at about 70% of normal in terms of snow water equivalent in the higher elevations. And most of that, well, it's left over from that melt and refreeze we saw earlier on. Warmer temperatures and less snow are pretty indicative of an El Nino here in the Northwest. Unfortunately for skiers and snowboarders, the biggest impacts are typically felt October through March, prime time for snow in the mountains. The El Nino doesn't look like it'll break anytime soon, meaning these mild conditions are likely here to stay. Despite the slow start to the season, there's still plenty of snow, and the winter should still give us plenty to slide downhill on. After all, it's only December and there's plenty of winter left. What a year like this does help us envision is what winter might look like in the future. Long-term climate trends bring warmer temperatures and less snow to the mountains of the Northwest, echoing what we see in a typical El Nino. For Environment Northwest, I'm meteorologist Jeremy Legoo.
Thank you for joining us here on KREM 2 Plus for a look at some of the biggest news stories of the past week. For the most current news throughout the weekend, you can watch our latest newscast right here on KREM 2 Plus. Just look for them in the bottom navigation menu. I'm Tim Pham. Thanks for watching.